Hello, family. Oh my goodness, I hope everybody is doing well. You are in for a treat today. Today is the day that I am just so excited about what's going on in Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about these country boys, whether it's in Africa or if it's in the U.S. Okay, that want to create their own government. This is what I've been telling black folk since forever. Okay. I'm going to be drinking me some of this little juice here. It looks a little gross here, but it's supposed to be good for you, to kind of fluctuate your body and kind of keep your little pressure regulated and stuff. Um, so y'all see me tampering. It's not bad. It's some of that beetroot. It's like beet juice in it. And it kind of tames, levels out your blood pressure, keep your little levels good. So we're gonna be sipping on this while we doing our little live. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm late because I was going to the gym. I've not had time during the week to go. So my days now is Saturday and Sunday to go to the gym. And I'm gonna try to squeeze in another day in the week to go. But right now it's gonna be Saturdays and Sundays. So mm, I got a story that I want to share with you guys right now. Lord have mercy, y'all help a sister out to help me to understand how are you in a black country or continent trying to have an all white anything. Help me to understand that. I don't understand it. I'm dropping it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm dropping everything. I am not understanding. I got a lot on my mind today because this really kind of I'm thinking about the truth of all of this and why would there be white folk in a city that wants to actually have a black city in um, one all white city in a black continent. Okay, I'm trying to understand that, and I'm hoping I'm gonna get it eventually. I don't understand it, but it really makes me really glad because it's showing me that sometimes we're supposed to do something right, but because you won't move, God will make other people move and do it for you. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, prime example. If you were supposed to invent something, you don't invent something, somebody else will get the idea to invent it, right? Let's talk about that. Let me show you something what I mean here. I'm gonna share my screen, y'all. Y'all help me out because you know how I am with this sharing screens and stuff. Y'all gonna help us out here. Share screen. Yes, I don't know why they keep showing me that crazy stuff. We're gonna do the audio. I think I got it. Wait a minute. Entire screen. Nope. Okay, entire screen. Okay, y'all. Here we go. I'm gonna try. Y'all help me out here because you know your system. How I am as far as sharing the screen. But I want you guys. Hey forecast. Hey Bakari. Welcome. Let's look at this for a minute. I want y'all to see this all white city. Can y'all see that? Let me get my phone out because I don't want us to miss nothing today. This is really cool. This is really good. I really do believe this. This is really good for us. But a lot of black people aren't mad about this. But how can you get mad when they show you who they really are? You feel me? If who they uh have portrayed to be, this is the city in South Africa. This is a white only city in an all black continent. Please help me to understand this. Y'all, I'm glad because they're showing you just how they feel about you. Maybe this slap, maybe not just this slap, but I'm gonna show you some other slap, some other slaps that hopefully is going to wake black folk up, okay? Because I feel like if they can, we can. This opens the door for us to say, okay, white folk, you can stay over there. Two governments. Now, this is how we get our two governments out, right? Come on, help me. Walk through, walk through, walk. Come on. If they can have their own government, their own police department, their own everything, that means their police officers can only patrol their area, right? And we have to get some qualified Black folk that's going to patrol Black people the right way. You feel me? So those white police officers can't come over here in the Black area and do anything because you wanted your own city, right? So this is a great opportunity for us to get separated. Hey, Erica, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is an opportunity for us to get our own, right? Let's look at this one right here. Come on, let's look at this a little bit. I'm excited about it. Black folk get mad, but you can't get mad when they show you who they already are, who we already knew that they were. They're just showing you the true them, the true self. Okay, come on, don't get mad at white folk when they show you that they still racist. We already knew that, but they got to tell some Black folk, they got to call you niggas in order for y'all to understand how they still are. Okay, but let's say in a sparsely populated Karoo Desert in the heart of South Africa, Northern Cape, the spirit of apartheid lives on. Listen to me now. And see, this is why I don't understand when these Africans come over here and they still loving these white folk, but you living among them and they treat them like dirt. And they own 85% of the land in South Africa. Do you hear me? They have like 85% of the businesses in South Africa. You got little businesses, little carts and stuff on the streets, yes. But when it comes to the mall and when it comes to the other businesses, bigger businesses, guess who own them in South Africa? I want y'all to hear me now. Now they have a black face around it. They'll have a black face that's showing you, the Black, and then you'll think you walk in there and say, oh my God, Black folk own this business. Then white folk didn't set it up. Like I went to a Chinese shop in Kenya. And I guarantee you it's a Chinese person somewhere that's behind that business. I ate there and I looked, I said, wait a minute, we got all this. How did they learn how to fix this food? Somebody had to teach them, right? So they got Black faces, Chinese behind them, probably owning the business, and they got Black folk working for them. Come on, let's talk about this. I spent a few days in, what is the name of it? Arenia? What is that? Whatever it is. We'll just say Orion, whatever, a town established in 1991 where no Black people lives. It was established in 1991. Why is it still there? Help me understand that. It says I was part of the BBC crew, including Zimbabwean journalist Stanley Kawita, who were accredited to visit. Okay. And during that time, I did not see any Black people in the town of 1,000 and unusually experienced in modern South Africa. It is an Afrikaner. Now they call themselves Afrikaners. They can't even call themselves Africans. They got to be distinctive everywhere they go. Their ancestors don't even belong in Africa. Put them all out. Just put them all out. If you want to say that you're an Afrikaner, then you could be an Afrikaner in the Caucasus Mountains where you belong. I'm just saying. I'm sick of looking at them. I'm sick of them trying to come to a Black country doing anything. We're going to talk about this Black Jackson State, where you got a group of white folk that's trying to separate Jackson State and have their own government. We're going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about this one first. I'm sick of these. I'm so sick of it. I don't know what to do, y'all. Y'all help me here. Yeah, that's why I got to take my little blood pressure to keep my blood pressure down today. My little juice. I better stop. Listen to this. This is so funny because they just crack me up every time they come around. I just cringe because I know toxicity is coming with them. Trauma, drama, hatred, anger, rage is coming with them. I don't care where they show up. Let me finish. It is an Afrikaner only town, meaning white folk, where only Africans is spoken. Afrikaner is spoken because of fear about diluting culture. Oh my God, help me. We do not fit in easily in the new South Africa. Ariana, that little white city, continent, was an answer to not dominating others and not being dominated by others, says who she is, Carolyn or Carella Bischoff Jr., the community leader. Okay. But they don't call themselves racist. Okay. Come on. Mr. Whoever, Bashafa, whoever, is one of the leaders of the town founded by his father. Okay. So he's passing down the racism to not only him, his kids, but his children's children. Come on. Okay. An Afrikaner intellectual and son-in-law of apartheid architect Hendrik, whoever. Okay. I want to try to see if I can play it. Can I play it? Is it gonna let me play it? Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I'm gonna be able to play it. I'm gonna check more.
Welcome to Orania. It's a town here in South Africa where there are only white people. In fact, only Afrikaner people. This is the local pub, and everything here is in Afrikaans, like this menu here. If you don't understand the language, you will struggle a little bit to understand what exactly is on the menu today. This town was established some 20 years ago to preserve the culture and
Can you
language
guys hear
of
it?
the Afrikaner people. This place is more than just a pub.
Can you
It is
hear it, you
more of
guys?
a museum of history. There is the Free State Republic flag and one of the Transvaal Republic, and also today's flag of Orania. On this wall, there is an array of portraits of some of the influential figures in Afrikaner history. There is one of the president here, and another one of the influential General De La Rey, who's famous for fighting in the Anglo-Boer War. Uh, and on this wall here, there is an array of newspaper cuttings from chronicling some of the battles that the Afrikaner people fought. And this one here is from the War Reporter Weekly edition of 14 October 1899, and it reads, "First shots of the war, General De La Rey captures British guns." Now, I've been here for a couple of days, and there's one question that keeps on popping into my mind, and it is whether there is still a place for Orania in today's diverse South Africa.
Well, I guess it's not as diverse as what he just said, huh? Because they have a white only city in a black continent. Y'all help me under. You know what? I have a girlfriend that I'm gonna see if I can get her on here. We're gonna talk about mental illness. Seriously, because I really do believe that town should have been burned down. Seriously, but that's what they want to do. Keep your town. Have at it. Do you? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The town was founded by Mr. Whoever Bashaf, okay, as a registered company shortly before white minority rule ended in the rest of the country. Okay, Mr. Whoever's grandson tells me that his people were faced with a tough question about their futures when the black government was elected in 1994. Do you hear that? See, every time black folk get over them, they want to separate. But all while they over y'all, black folk ain't got sense enough to want to separate. We don't mind them over us. We don't mind going to church with them. We don't mind going to school with them. But every time you bring your black behinds into their area, what they want to do, they want to separate. Anytime they got black mayors, black chiefs, black this, black churches, black pastors, do you see white folks integrating with black people? No, it's always us integrating with them, right? Let me finish. Hold on. We're going to get to the Mississippi thing. I don't want to read. I just wanted to show y'all. I'm not going to, South Africa, Afrikaners. These are the Afrikaners. Okay. And you know what? They always have to have their guns, right? So sick of them. I don't know what to do. I can't wait till their asses disappear. I'm sick of them. I'm not going to read all of this. I just wanted to introduce that because what I really want to talk about is Jackson. Okay. We just go, well, I may come back to this, but I just wanted to show you this separation of this white separation. It's all white, they just, I'm done. I'm done. I just wanted to introduce that so that I can go now to the one why I'm really here. Let's talk about this one here. Oh my goodness. This is going to blow your mind, honey. I want y'all to hear this. I hope it's not going to be a copyright here for me. It's strictly educational purposes, YouTube. Because YouTube like to trip on my stuff. Okay. But let's just play this. Can y'all see where I'm going now? Okay. We're going to play this. Let me see.
Passing legislation to create a court system to govern only white people. Let's put up the picture here. That is the illustrious Capitol. This is where all of the legislation gets dealt with. A white supermajority of the Mississippi House voted to create a separate court system.
I love it.
An expanded police power inside of the blackest major city in the United States of America, the city of Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, Lord.
This new court system and this police takeover would be orchestrated by a completely white panel of state officials. It is called House Bill 1020.
1020, House Bill.
If House Bill 1020 becomes law later this session, which, by the way,
It will.
many are predicting it will, the white Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court would be able to appoint 2 judges to oversee a new district within the city. Now watch how they're doing it. This new city, one that includes all of the city's major white communities,
Can you guys hear? Yes, we good?
among other areas. This white city, or the white state attorney general, would appoint 4 prosecutors to this new dynamic within the city. A court clerk would be appointed as well to govern the white members of the Jackson community. And 4 public defenders would be available for the white members of this new dynamic. The White State Public Safety Commission would oversee an expanded Capitol Police Force run currently by a white chief of police inside of the Black city, taking away their authority as a city government. There's more. After thorough and passionate dissent from Black members of the House, the bill passed 76-38. 76-38, primarily along party lines. The bill would double the funding for the district to $20 million
Woo.
in order to increase the size of the existing Capitol Police Force.
Yep.
The new court system laid out in House Bill 1020 is estimated to cost $1.6 million annually. I'm going to help you get to the bottom of why this is even a thing, okay?
I'm
Okay.
loving it.
Let me help you out here. You got 2 Black members of the House,
this out.
Representative Cedric Selot Burnett, a Democrat from Tunisia, and
Where that's at.
Angela Cockerham, an independent from Mongolia. They voted for the measure. Now, why do you think they voted for the measure? Who the
Are you understanding? Those 2 right there are not even foundational Black Americans. One was from Angola, Mongolia, wherever, and he was from whoever, I don't even know, but it wasn't from America, okay? So you have Black representation that look like me, but guess who they act like? This woman they next to. Okay, let's finish. I'm not mad at them. I'm not. Come on here.
the hell knows? Maybe they were promised something.
I'm excited.
But all but one lawmaker representing the city of Jackson, Representative Shonda Yates, an independent, actually opposed the bill.
Exactly. Woo, let me hold on, forecast. You said so. They don't have money for clean water, but 20 million to separate a city. They got money for what they want to have money for. Don't trust and believe. They can fix that water today if they wanted to, but because you Black and your Black baby's drinking it, and we got clean water over here because they don't have the same water. Best to believe they have 2 separate water systems too. Trust that. But because your Black baby's drinking that water and dying and getting on this other stuff, oh, these devils got something to pay for, honey, and I can't wait till they get it. I can't wait. But let's finish. Let's continue. I ain't gonna get too excited right
Bill.
now.
The bill was authored by Republican Representative Trey Lamar. He's on the left. It was sent to Lamar's committee by Speaker Philip Gunn on the right. Instead of sending it to the House Judiciary Committee where it was supposed to go, they decided.
Do we understand the government works exactly? White folk do what white folk do. They never have to go by the rules. You, on the other hand, forecast, Bakari, Erica, we have to go, Cassie, we have to go by their rules. But they can make a law and directly put it wherever it wants to go. This bill is going to pass. I guarantee you, and I'm not even mad. I'm so glad that they're separating themselves because Black folk won't do it. So guess what? Let the enemy set you up to be blessed. Get out, go over there, do you. Don't come over here messing with us. Let us have our Black Jackson, okay? Y'all stay over there, do you. Let your police officers stay over there. Don't come over here. Tell me we writing you no ticket because you try to stop me. I'll keep going because you're supposed to be over there. You ain't got no business over here in the black area, right? Because you wanted to be separate. Okay, come on. I'm excited. This right here is showing y'all black folk just how they feel about you. And they had to do it to show you that, yes, I don't want to live with you. I don't want to integrate. I ain't never wanted to integrate with you. That was like y'all slow behinds that came in our restaurants to eat our food that we threw on the floor and spit in and everything else. But you paid for it because you wanted us to force you to allow you to come to our restaurant. You're going to force us to take your money. In the hell is going on here? Am I making sense? Let me finish. I'm trying to stay cool. I'm trying to stay cool.
It would have a better outcome in another committee. Many House members who represent Jackson on Tuesday said they were never consulted by House leadership about the bill. Much of the debate centered around the issue of creating a court where the black majority in Hinds County would not be allowed to vote on judges.
Titus.
When asked why he could not add more elected judges to Hinds County rather than appointed judges to the new district, Lamar said, "This is the bill that is before the body. We're going to vote on it."
Hit that like button, y'all.
Listen, please understand what they're doing. Jackson is roughly 80 to 83% African American, but very prominent white people do live in Jackson, including statewide elected officials. The white legislative body, the primarily white legislative body, they have to govern from Jackson. That is the location of all of their legislative everything. So what are they really saying? They're saying they do not want to be governed by black people.
Okay, but we can be governed by them. Are we understanding what's going on here? Do we really understand? They saying y'all niggas dumb enough to let us govern you. We're not gonna be that dumb to let y'all niggas govern us. We're gonna separate from y'all. We're gonna have our own over here. Because you know, Jackson, Mississippi has a black mayor. His dad was the bomb. They ended up killing his dad, right? Poisoning his water. So guess what? He ended up dying. But that dude didn't take no mess from them crackers, honey. They had to get rid of him. And the son came in. The son is, you know, they're not scared of him. They letting the son live because they're not afraid of him. Because he's black, but he's not black like his daddy. You know, his daddy was a different type of black. You know, you got these soft black, you know, the pro-black, they kind of soft. White folk know they're still not going to hurt them. They're not dangerous. We're going to let you rule. We're going to let you do what you want to do over here. We know you're not coming for us, but we're going to be over. You're going to let us do what we want to do. So we're going to do. That's who he is. Okay. Let's just go ahead. We're going to come on for a minute.
And so they're creating a district inside of the city that will have a different standard of operation, a different court system, and a different police force than anywhere else in Jackson, Mississippi. This was actually a thing back in the 60s. I remember when the documentary of the Atlanta police force showed it, highlighted how black cops were not allowed to arrest white people. They were not allowed to go to the precinct. They had to stay at the local YMCA. They were not allowed to stare at white women. They had a badge, they had a uniform, some of them even had a gun. But culturally, they were not to engage nor govern the actions of white citizens. Even back then, none of that was.
Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on, I gotta be funny here. So black folk back in the day, they were able to join the police department, but they had no gun and no bullets. Y'all need to help me out here. You walk around with a gun and no bullets. What the hell? What in the world? I can't take it. Yeah, I can't take this. I'm crying over here. I am so excited. This is really exciting for me because I'm reading the comment. Forecast said, I'm sorry, this is so funny to me. You got the nerves to be mad about them showing you, about them wanting to separate. You should be thanking them. Thank you. When Biden said, I don't want my son to go to school with y'all. Thank you, Biden. We don't want your crackhead son going to school with our kids anyway. Oh my God. Y'all help me out here. I am just, Oh, this is exciting. Hold on, I'm crying over here. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna read Forecast's comment. He said, "Oh boy, but black people will fight it cause too many of us need to be around them and controlled by them." That right there, that's the best I've ever heard, and I'm telling you, that's true. This is why black folk mad. You got this young man here. He's actually mad about this. But we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep going. I don't know why I keep doing it. But
codified into law. It was simply understood culturally.
boy,
Literally, you have a reverse of that. It is now going to be codified in law if it is signed. My dear sister, what are your thoughts on this?
You know, we've always heard.
I don't care. I'm just saying, this is so amazing to me, right? That I'm coming back over here because I gotta, hey, I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. This is so amazing because they are showing us that we can do the same thing. Y'all hit the like button, okay? Once you guys share. Okay, here we go. Got us a visitor. Come on, my visitor. Come on, visitor.
What's going on, Priscilla?
I can't control myself.
How you doing?
What's
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, look.
can hear you.
Like Erica Howard said, this is like gentrification on steroids, and we should be happy. But I'm gonna show you something, right? Here in the Atlanta area, if you ever been to Atlanta at all, have you ever heard of a place Buckhead? Right?
Wait a minute, you breaking up, but you
Buckhead.
said there is a city in Atlanta too. Yes.
I say, have you ever heard of Buckhead? Okay,
Yes.
Buckhead. They're doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing here in Atlanta. Buckhead is trying to become its own city. It don't want to be part of Atlanta. It don't want to be part of Atlanta anymore. It want to have its own government. It want its own everything.
Good.
They have
I hope they do it
they have a
nationwide. Go ahead, Bakari. I'm interrupting. I'm
area
sorry. Go
called Vinings, right?
ahead.
They have an area here in Atlanta called Vinings, right? And they are doing the same thing in Vinings. Vinings want to be its own city, want to be its own everything, don't want to be connected. A little area called Kennesaw, Georgia did not even want to be part of the Atlanta metropolitan area, right? So what they are doing, they let you know they don't want you around. Now look at Jackson. Jackson is not nearly the level of Atlanta, but they're showing you they don't want you around, or they don't want to be around us. But when they build those cities, our people will figure out a way to make enough money to go live in that area to try and prove a point.
Let them go ahead so they can die. Go ahead. We need to give them anyway.
Problem. And for me, that's a problem. In an area like Jackson, 80% black, man, just go ahead and kick white people ass. It's just that simple. That's what needs to happen. You can't take what's mine. They're trying to confiscate the $800 million that was allocated to Jackson for water. They want to make the water better. The state and the government is trying to allocate that. But when you have people like that woman, Angela Cockerham, right? And you said a Foundation of Black America. Well, actually, she is. What he did was he mispronounced the word. The word is called the word he was trying to say was Magnolia, Mississippi. And I knew exactly. Actually, I don't know her, but I've heard about her. I know exactly what Magnolia, Mississippi is, and I think the other place he was trying to say was Tunica. But they are just absolute sellouts. And when he said Democrat, he only pointed to the two black Democrats that have those people back. What about those other white Democrats who y'all have black people running out there voting for just because they're a Democrat? And because you only pointed out the two black ones. Yeah, the two black ones are worse because they're black and they're siding to see black people suffer like that because they know they're going to be able to go move. We're going to be the two accepted into this white town, but point out all of the BS that the Democratic Party is doing now and has done and will continue to do because they are never held accountable. We only believe in holding ourselves accountable. They can get away with those white people. They can get away with they can get away with it. I'll yield to Mike. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you what, this makes my heart. I don't care what nobody say. This is showing black people, and I hope they slap their asses so hard that black people can't see straight, because it's time for you to wake up anyway. They already showing you. But my thing, it makes me so mad when you got these black folk, they're from different areas, they're not even foundational, that we are allowing to be over us. Why is it that black folk like yourself, black folk like myself, black folk like Forecast and Erica, why can't we run for some of those offices? And if they want the separation, let's go ahead and do it right. You got your government, you doing your people, and guess what? We're gonna do our government, and we're gonna do our people in our area. We don't have to be separate. We don't have to be together with them. I thought it was a dumb idea in the first place to be together with them. We were apart before, after slavery, and then what happened? We got so dumb and desperate. We let some little crazy dude called Martin Luther King come and tell us, hey, y'all, let's go back under massa. Let's go and hold a white girl's hand. Let's go get some white poo-poo. Let's get some access to white folk. Let me tell you something. Black folks should have been shutting him down in the first place back in the day. This should have never been. So I'm excited because I can't wait to see what happens. I hope black folk, this is giving you an opportunity to get your own. If they can, we can. What are you waiting for? Across the board. Because guess what? All we have to do is say, look, they did it in Mississippi. They're doing it in Georgia. We're going to do it now. Black folk like myself, like-minded black folk get together and have a separate government. We don't have to. We can have our own schools. Thank God we'll be able to educate our own babies. Guess we have, they're forcing your hand. Okay, force my hand. I'm glad you forcing my hand because now I can start doing for self. We can start supporting our own businesses. We can start growing our own. We can start have our own hospitals, our own clinics, our own land, our own everything. That's what they're doing. So guess what? This is your opportunity, black folk, to do it yourself.
Hey, you know what? You're absolutely right. This is our opportunity. But I'm going to tell you, I think where a lot of our people go astray, right? Instead of understanding what white people is doing to you, we choose to join groups where. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, we choose to join groups or organizations where we got to help poor white folk too, or we choose to join, or we choose to sit back and say, "This is how you do it." Look, white folks can beat, rob, steal, and kill, and if you try to do something to their little city that they're trying to build in Jackson, or what they did in Buckhead, or any of these other little areas that they build, like Erica said, down there in Macon, they built the city inside of a city called Payne, Georgia. What's going to end up happening? You will see how you're confronted. The fight. There's no fight, and I hate to say it like this, but the fight has been beat out of majority of black people. So we think all we can do is talk, and that's going to make things better. And we're going to have to look at South Africa. You 85% black African, and white people and Indians and anybody else can just come and take your shit. And the only thing you do is complain. And I have a problem with that. We never make a stance. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest. I'm 51. They call me old. The young folks say they got it. I'm out the way. I'm going to let them handle it. They can do it how they want to do it.
Right. So it's the people in Jackson's fault that South Africa. It's the black people's fault in South Africa. They live in the slums. Hold on. Like, come on.
That's my.
You pushing on this. Is pushing spreading this falsehood.
I think he need to call in too. Give him a phone so he can call in.
Oh, let me speak. Yeah, let me speak.
Go ahead.
Analysis. It's just, there's a lot of black people who like to push this narrative, especially from the older community, that everything that happens to black people is black people's fault. It's the black people's fault in Jackson. They not doing nothing to stand up and fight. And that's why the white people are trying to subvert their right to vote. It's the black people's fault in South Africa that they've had apartheid inflicted on them for the last 100 or so years, and that they're forced to live in the slums, and that the top 1% in South Africa, who are all white, own 71% of all of the wealth. Like, it's just to completely ignore all of the systemic disadvantages that have been snowballing and compounding on
Right.
black people all
Right.
across the globe,
Right.
economically
Right.
and politically, and trying to just say, well, now that it's coming to this point, it's black people's fault. It's ridiculous. It's like saying that Jim Crow was the slaves' fault because they didn't revolt
Exactly.
enough.
Well, actually, nobody here never said it's black people's fault. I'm saying what black people need to do. If you're 85% of the population in South Africa, in America, of course, our population is different because we only 13%.
They say
But
that.
where
Now,
you are
it's more than,
85%,
you know it's more than, hold on. Let me correct you on that. You know that it's more black folk than that. Because if it's only 8, 12, 13%, it's been that since slavery, right? You mean we ain't grown, we ain't had no babies, come on, dude. The Mexicans can come on here. The Mexicans, right, have come here and they were like, what, 3%? Now they 10%. You mean they can grow, but black folk can't? Don't let them keep telling you that it's only 12% of us. Oh, it's a whole lot more than that. They're not going to tell you, though. Go ahead.
No,
I'm going to let you go ahead.
when it comes to the stats, they group all Latinos together. They group all white people together, don't care where they come from. When it comes to black people, they divide us, so we divide ourselves. That's why
so we know it's more. We know it's
like
more
for
of us
me,
than them, though.
FBA and they,
okay.
those friends groups, they're useless when it comes to building up black people. Those little friends groups trying to separate ourselves, they're absolutely useless. We just have to, if we're gonna stand on being black, stand on being African, that's what we have to stand on. But when they go by those census, I literally know people, or you can find people on YouTube, but I know people that will put on a census, they're not black, they're white, or they're Native American or whatever. They won't put on there they're black.
Okay. Welcome, Sankara. Welcome. What's your thoughts?
Peace. Yeah, I just happened to see the title. What's up, Bakari? I heard Bakari cooking. I said, what's going on here? I had to chime in and see what's going on. I saw the title and I heard what the brother was talking about. So I guess what you guys are saying is why is it that well, first of all, who's separating? You said somebody's separating. So what's the next step in the game?
Don't know the whole thing. You coming on here asking us.
Because
It's Jackson.
I heard him talking. I'll just say this about the Mexicans.
Hey, before you go right quick, my son is about to get out. He said he had one more thing he wanted to say because I was bringing him to work.
Come on,
he said, "Can he
speak up? Come on, let him.
Yeah. So in conclusion, I just think that I think that there's a separation between the older generation. They like to frame things as though it's black people. Black people aren't doing enough to fight against oppression, to fight against the human suffering that's being inflicted upon them. But I think that framing is very irresponsible. It plays into this narrative that all of the oppression that happens to black people is black people's fault. I think it ignores the material conditions of the people in Jackson and why economically they're in a position where the white voters are just able to leverage against them this way. I think it leaves out context intentionally to push a message that ultimately doesn't move us forward. It only holds us back. I think we need to acknowledge that in the United States, white people are going to try to subvert black people's right to participate in democracy through the Republican Party. And there's certain sects of the Democratic Party that are going to allow it. And I think specifically in Jackson, Mississippi, this is an attempt to progress the prison industrial complex because the voters, we know that the voters who are trying to create this separate court system in Jackson, they're pro-police, they're pro-militarization of the police, they're anti-decriminalization of drugs, they want to expand bail, they want to incarcerate as many black people in Jackson as possible. So I don't think it's fair to blame the citizens of Jackson for having their rights taken away from them.
Well, see you later, big guy. I'll pick you up later. What time you get off?
Tell him thank you for his insight. I love him, Bakari. But I'm telling you, he's right. We have to understand that they want you to blame you. They want to blame you. They want you to blame you. And we do. We take all the blame, thankfully. Every time they come to you and tell you black on black crime, yes, it's black on black crime. Okay, well, sure. Let's talk about the white on white crime. Okay. It ain't just black on black, nothing. It's everybody killed themselves and each other. You understand what I'm saying? But I want you, Sankara, if you have some something to say about this subject, please share. We'll be more than happy to hear it.
Yes.
But you might need
Thank
to
you,
get we are talking about the Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. They're doing a separation, right? They want their own government. They want their own police department. They want their own everything, which I totally agree, because it's time.
Yeah.
We should have done it with black people, but they're giving us the open for us to do it. So let's see what we're going to do about it. Go ahead. Take
Okay.
the floor.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I just
Wait,
want to
but
make
hold on.
sure.
I'm sorry. Carolyn, welcome. Thank you. Welcome, Carolyn. Go ahead.
Yes, that's what I thought you were talking about. That's why I wanted to say yes. And it's sad that just now people want to make a response. Oh, well, now we should do that. We should have did that after slavery. The thing
we
is,
did.
well,
We did. Did you forget we did
some did, but we didn't do it
No,
as a
we all
collective.
did separate. We separated after slavery, and then guess who brought you back? MLK brought you back and said, "Oh, y'all, hold on. I had a dream the other night. I don't give a damn about your dream. Your dream was a nightmare, and nobody had the sense to say that to him. Your dream was a
Right.
nightmare. Okay, so you can take that
Yes.
nightmare and go on back with the crackers over there and have that dream with them. But we gonna keep doing what we doing over here, and we're gonna continue growing. And that's what we should have told him. But no, black folk didn't have no vision, no focus. We're always looking for somebody to lead us. And the people that we look to lead us right to the ditches, and then lead us into burning buildings and left us. And we've been there ever since. But go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try not to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good. Yes. Well, I was just going to say, in the sense that we did not separate, was when after slavery, we should have known, after everything we've been through, all of the rape, all the killing, all the stealing, everything that we went through, all the abuse. At that point, our people should have been like, okay, this is an enemy, and we should have moved accordingly. And what happened instead was, oh, well, we're not slaves anymore, but I still got to eat. So we might as well still work for massa. We might as well still depend on massa for all of our resources, all of our needs, all of everything that we need. Well, we're still going to depend on them even after everything they just did. So a lot of our people never made that conscious separation where we are not dealing with y'all. This is an enemy nation. We need to build our own nation completely separate, and we need to keep all of our resources for ourselves. The reason why other people can come over here, like the Asians, the Mexicans, or whatever, Asians can come over here and excel because Asians have Asia. They have an economic, and they have a base where they can produce resources for their own people, bring it over here and set up industry. We don't have that. We didn't build that. We never tried to build that type of separate economic structure. Therefore, we're always at the whim of the white man. Just like the brother was saying, they always have an edge or a edge over us. I can't remember the word he used. Well, that's true because they're in power. So my stance is we should have been on that page, and there's nothing we can do politically that is going to change the situation, because politically we are a minority and they are in power. They're always going to make policies that's going to benefit those in power and the majority. They will never pass a pro-black interest policy in this country, period. That's not going to happen because it's not going to benefit the masses. We have to be connected to Africa, all this anti-African bull crap. The agents put that out because they know if we ever connect back to where our real resources are, then we have a chance. To be honest with you, I don't think we have a chance for what people call real equality in this country. We have to connect to where we have land and resources where we are in control of that to even begin to have a chance.
Right. Want to say something about Carolyn. Welcome. Wyold Williams. Welcome. It's so hard for us to believe that other black folk mean us harm. We always want to believe the best about somebody. And I appreciate you, Carolyn, and I understand what you're saying, but we got to look at it for what it's worth. I got somebody else that's coming on, okay? But we got to start looking at things. We got to start being truthful to ourselves. We got to start calling out these, when the duck look like a duck, we're going to call it a duck. And now I don't mind calling duck a duck or a spade a spade. I don't mind calling out black, white, little black, white supremacy that work for the government against their own. And MLK is proven he was working against his own people. He was part of the Boule. We know what the Boule do for us, right? The Boule do what? They have always been against black-looking people that have a black mindset. They've always been used by the government for COINTELPRO. Remember? We can really get into that, but we're gonna stay focused on this. But it's time to call out black folk, even the Democratic Party. It's time to call out black folk that keep voting these little black white supremacy in. That's not doing anything for you. They want to keep telling you that we can't do reparations. But guess what? You just gave how many billions of dollars, millions and trillions of dollars to Ukraine, but you can't do reparations for black people? Give me a break. Go ahead, Forecast. We're going to give you the floor.
All right,
welcome, my brother.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Cassandra?
Hey, what's up, Forecast?
What's up, St. Carl? What up, Bakari? Intro to Miller.
Welcome.
What's going on, my man?
Not much. But and my St. Carl, you mentioned it earlier, you was like, I don't think it's gonna be equality. Well, there's no such thing as equality, you know what I'm saying? It's whoever controls whatever, you know what I'm saying? They own the land, whoever controls the food, the resources, they control whatever, and
right.
And black people in general, like Cassandra was saying earlier, like, you can only one person can be on the mountaintop, and we want to hold hands with everybody, and nobody else want to do that. And then I was listening to like the slave narratives and stuff like that. And like what you were saying was right. A lot of people who came out of slavery, particularly slaves that they interviewed, was like, oh, well, it was better in slavery because now we got to eat and do all these things for our own. And I think that black people today are still saying the same thing, even though they think they aren't, you know what I'm saying? They still like, oh, well, when you fight them to not be a part of your government. And the thing is, the funny part is they move to your places. You see this going in South Africa and Jackson, Mississippi. There's two different places, but the common thing is black people are the majority.
Yep.
You let everybody come into your communities. Then while they're in your communities, they take all the resources. And then they say, well, we tired of you looking at us taking the resources, so we're going to put laws against you and you can't do nothing to regulate us. And my thing is, like, if you go to Chinatown, where's the black neighborhood in China? You know what I'm saying? The African. You know what I'm saying? If you find one, it's going to be in the slums, or if you go to any place in Europe, and only black people is letting their land, their resources, and all of that stuff just go for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And sit here and argue. That's why I was saying before, like, what about black people being racist? Because you know what? We'll be like, complain about this. Like, it would set a precedent if they have a separate government. Because now we like, well, we see that it can be done. So we want a separate government in every city in America. You know what I'm saying? Where black people are. You know what I'm saying? And they may, and we don't have to go by their rules. It's just too many of us go by them, because we can do it right now and say, well, look, but we would have to be on a unison thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, but even if this passes, you get a license to go by white people rules, since we go by their rules all the time. Well, white people are doing it, so now that means we could do it too. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who need an excuse, you know what I'm saying? But you see, they don't allow that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. They needed an approval, huh? Now you have that approval, right? Forecast.
Right. You a white person did it, so it's okay now. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to call me racist for saying that black people need to separate. You know what I'm saying? But it would set a precedent. But black people can be racist. Well, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I don't go say can't, but when I see black people fighting,
we know what a racist is. Black folk don't have no power to be racist. We ain't got no power.
Yeah.
We can't.
People kill me with that.
Life. If we don't like white folk, we can't change their lives, can we? Matron, welcome. We can't change anybody's life. A person only has power, can be racist. White folk, they have the power to stop you from getting a loan, to stop you from getting a car, to stop you from getting a job. That's power. Now they can be racist, but black folk can't be racist. Go ahead.
Hey, can I make a statement about that right quick?
Yeah, hold on, Bakari. Let me say just one last sentence on that, because I like my thing that scared me, because I understand what you're saying, but I think black people is scared to get the power to be racist. You know what I'm saying? And that's my issue, because like we're gonna fight them to separate us. Like, oh Lord, please don't leave me, sir. Master. But I'm sorry, Bakari, my bad.
No, what I want to say about that, Cassandra and Sankara, I beg to differ on that we don't have the power. I'm gonna show you we don't use our power, because we absolutely have the power to affect other people's lives. All you got to do is stop giving your money to the Chinamans for that rat. Stop giving your money to Arabs. Stop giving your
Okay.
money to East Indians. If we stop giving
I stand
our money
corrected.
to so then we will have the power. So then we will be building ourselves. Because at the top of this whole pyramid here in this country, there's a 10,000-pound gorilla called white folk who we gonna eventually have to face. But we can't face them right now because we are giving all our power that we do have, or that
Yeah.
we have. We give our power to other people when we should be using that power to strengthen ourselves. Now I'm gonna say this, then I'm gonna be quiet. Now, earlier when I came on and I mentioned Atlanta, right? The only reason I mentioned what they were doing in Atlanta, not trying to take the focus off Jackson, but I want people to understand they want us to focus on Jackson more than anything for a lot of different reasons, right? So with Jackson, the state of Mississippi and the state of Alabama, those are the only two states where they don't have a white university in the capital city. The only universities in the capital cities is HBCUs. So that's a problem for them, right? They wanted Ole Miss. It's been a long story.
Okay.
They tried to put white universities there, so they don't want Jackson there anymore, right? But when I mention Atlanta, it's because they're doing it in Atlanta and they want everybody to focus on this one area. Let's all focus on Jackson. So while everybody's focusing on Jackson, they will do it right under your nose in a real major city like Atlanta that's supposed to be the Black Mecca. And now we have separated from y'all there. And now Cobb City, they're creating, like I said, Buckhead for them, Vinings for them. There's a couple more areas for them, but Cobb City is in the Black. But Cobb City in Atlanta, Cobb City is in the Black neighborhood.
Good. I'm glad. It's about time. Let me read one more comment. Carolyn, you said, and I'm not trying to pick on you, but you said something. You said, remember, were a conquered people. That's what a Black man told me. Okay, hold on. How long are we going to stay conquered? You can build, for instance, let me show you one thing. We did ram in the bush, right? What we're doing, we're giving jobs, we're giving certificates to these guys so that they can own their own businesses. We can have a community store. What's stopping you from doing that? We can start collecting for our own clinics, right? Because I eventually want to add on to our midwives, and I want to do our doulas, right? Eventually, I want to add that on to Ram in the Bush. So we will have our own clinics. I want to add the security on. So we could have our own investigating, our own police department. I want to add different things on to Ram in the Bush so that we can have our own. So that conquered mentality, I'm done with that. I don't believe that. I believe that now it's our time to build. You can have whatever you want right now. This is our time to do it. All you have to do is build it. And we have to support it. Only reason that we're not better than them and we don't have our own Walmarts because we have not stepped out to get it. Anytime Black folk have come together, like we came together and went against Nike, I think that was when Kaepernick kneeled or no, I take that back. We came together and we supported Popeyes. Remember with that little sandwich they had? And Popeyes stock went through the roof, right? Also with Nike, it went through the roof from Kaepernick. They was the only one that was supporting Kaepernick, right? Remember when he kneeled and Nike supported him and all the Black folk, their stock went through the roof? And now they doing something else, so Black folk not supporting them. But that should show us that we can do this. All we have to do is get our mindset right. And the same way that they're separating, we separate from them. What's stopping us from doing that? What's stopping you, Carolyn, from running for mayor? What's stopping you, Bakari, from running for mayor of Atlanta? Forecast, what's stopping you from running for mayor in your area? We can do it, but are we going to? That's is an opportunity to see that they're doing it, and we do it also, because they can't come back and say, no, you can't do that. Oh, we can. They just did it. We're going to do it. You allowed them to do it. We can now. You can take it into where you want it to go because they opened the door for it. So let's see how many Black people are going to step through that door and create their own little cities. Let's do it. Why not?
Let me respond to Bakari right quick. So, yes, that's true, but I would just say this. I would say the problem is, yes, we're supposed to be doing all of that, but most Negroes are assimilationist mindset. If you set up something, most Black folks, that's why, see, this panel should have 4,000 people, not 4 people in it. Black people are not going to get on board like we should to unify in a Black only initiative because they want to be assimilationists. So that's the issue. Yes, we should be doing that, but we don't have enough numbers of people that want to do it. That's the
Well,
problem.
guess what?
And
We have
that's
to
why I
start
always
somewhere.
say,
We start somewhere. We
yeah,
have to
that's
start
true.
somewhere, though. We can't
I would just
continue
say
making
that
that
the way,
excuse. Go ahead.
yes.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sorry. I would just say that's why I say, and I know Garvey talked about this, and a lot of Pan-Africanists kind of pound on this. If you get like you see the brothers in my picture here, to me, these three brothers were the closest to an actual black nation being built that we've ever seen or gotten near to. But that's only because you're in a situation where you're already in a place that has land and resources where the majority has a possibility of getting on board with the all black initiative. As long as you have this dominated white society, it don't matter if you have a black mayor, a black president, the policies are not going to be black first, black only. So it's sort of like you're always going to have assimilationist agendas, and that's not going to get us where we need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like it may take 1,000 years. I mean, even if we do get there, it'll take, I think the quickest way is if we start where there's already some land somewhere and then put some brothers with the mindsets that we have on that place or area. And then you'll already have people get on board quicker because the whole community is going to get on board with a black only project. That's what I think. I think that's the only way we're going to get out of this. That's just my opinion. What y'all think?
I totally agree, but I do believe that we have to start. Just for instance, I'm doing Ram in the Bush, which I'm doing, we're creating, this is a start. Within a year, we should be, using the people that we're hiring now, that we're training now. We should be able to use them next year or a year and a half at least. That means they'll be trained. They should have their own businesses and we can use them as trainers. But we also have to start with clinics. Who on here is ready to open up a clinic, or a group of us can start putting toward a clinic, maybe in Georgia, a clinic maybe in North Carolina? We can start with one clinic and we can have a community clinic. It can be the community, black folk in that area with like minds that want to start that community as far as the clinics and the schools.
Yeah.
We already have a school that we can attach to, Xavier Institute. Okay, is in New York. We can start our babies going to that university or that school for now. And then once we get enough people in Georgia, in North Carolina, in Virginia, and these other places, then we can create our own schools. But we have to start somewhere. We can't just look at other people and say, oh, it's not enough of us. Oh, it's plenty of us. It's a lot of us that think the way we do. We just don't see them. But it's a lot of little hidden gems within the black community that think the way we do, that can start doing what we need to do. We don't need a whole group of people. We just need people that's ready to grow, ready to build. Carolyn, I love you, girl. I understand what you're saying. So what I do, I put your little, your comment up there, and I knew it wasn't just you saying it. I know how you feel. I know you, so I know how you feel. But thank you for your comment, though. Thank you.
Hey,
but go ahead. Who's next? Go ahead.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, please.
Yesterday, I heard a dude. I was listening to something, and a brother said, white supremacy is going to be here forever, and there's always been here. You know what I'm saying? Which is like a false statement. So I get what y'all saying, but like what you're saying is absolutely right. Because I had like the Black History thing last time. We were talking about the churches and the institutions. And this time, I did, it's like, I brought up Paul Cuffey, who was like 100 years before Garvey. And in his time, he became a wealthy businessman in the 1700s, like into the early 1800s. He employed Black people all across America. He funded all kind of like things. And the thing about the community, they created mutual societies where like, they had the Black people in Rhode Island, the Black people in Boston, and then they would communicate with each other, put their money and stuff together, and they built schools, they built hospitals in the 1700s, like 100 years before like slavery ended and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it wasn't, and it was people that was enslaved, but they was able to realize the situation. Today we got the illusion of inclusion, but it's still no different.
Right.
But they had less money, less everything, but they put their resources because they was good at like one person might know how to like build something, another person might be know how to knit, somebody might know how to cook, and they put their resources
Yes.
together and they built the straight societies. And what they did was like, we gonna fund these companies, you know what I'm saying? We gonna build our own schools. And they made black school in Rhode Island back on, no white rules, no nothing, you know what I'm saying? In 1780 something. So it's
Man, so
possible
why
today.
are we not doing that now? And maybe we need more people to show. Back in the day, like you said, maybe we need more YouTubers to talk about that, to bring that out, so that we can see that yes, it used to exist. Yes, we used to have our own cities. Yes, we used to have our own schools. We had our own hospitals. We had our own land. We had our own everything. But until 1963, we wanted to come together with people because a man came to us and told us he had a dream. And nobody had the nerve to shut him down. But go ahead.
Right.
I'm sorry. I thought you had stopped, Kasim. I did not mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
Go ahead.
No, but like what Forecast was just talking about.
You're good. Go ahead.
And you say more YouTubers need to talk about it. Me and Forecast was actually doing a series. We actually did a few shows talking about the towns and everything that black people built that was all black way back then and how they governed. We also showed towns where the Klan wanted to come and tear them up and the black people ran them out. We actually, me and Forecast actually have actually done those shows, and you know, and we talk when Forecast talk about the water. When you hear him talk about the water in Alabama, Lowndes County, Alabama, that was a black area. It still is, created by black folks, the home of the original Black Panthers, and now they are going through that. We discussed Mount Bayou, Mississippi. We went through North Carolina, and it's a couple that might still stand. Mount Bayou, Mississippi still stand. It's all black. It is all black. And they want people to come.
Yeah.
Black people who left and made money is going back to Mount Bayou now, revitalizing the town. They don't have their own hospital anymore, but they do have their own black medical clinic with all black doctors. They are doing it, and they want black people to be involved.
Yes, I think my brother Maurice is down there. If I'm not mistaken, I think Carolyn, right? Am I correct, Carolyn? I think that's where my brother Maurice moved, right? To Mount Bayou, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. Put it in the comments, yes or no, if I'm correct. But yeah, go ahead, Pagari.
No, that's all I'm saying. So when you say we need, and you're right, we do need more. But the big channels
keep talking about it.
The big
what do you
channels
think about
don't
that?
talk about
Us not stopping.
I'm saying the bigger channels don't talk about it, but the smaller channels do. I guess we can't get big because our goal ain't to bang on black people. That's not our goal. It's to bang and insult black people all the time.
Exactly.
Hey, Bakari, and the thing is, it's not just. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Forecast.
No, I was just gonna say, like, and it's not just that a lot of black people don't have that mindset. They don't put it out there because, like, when my don't wasn't getting like blocked, like it was growing like crazy. People are with that message, especially like the younger generation. You got a chance to deal with their mind. You know what I'm saying? But they YouTube is definitely gonna block this message. It's not that people don't want, because don't get me wrong, people want to watch the drama first too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they're gonna block something when we're talking about something important, though, you know.
Unfortunately. But guess what? We have to still talk about it. We keep talking about it. We keep pounding it in because guess what? We have to start somewhere. I remember this was a couple years ago where I had was trying to do a GoFundMe, and I wanted to I looked for a store, looked for a little area of where we can do a community store, and I was talking about doing pop-ups and stuff. Couldn't get the support. I'm like, well, I can't do it by myself. But I looked at the space, saw the space, and was trying to get the space before I did the foundation, right? But I couldn't get the help. And I'm like, well, why am I trying to do this by myself? That's crazy.
Right.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm just agreeing. Yeah, dude, you're on point. Yeah, I mean, we can do anything. I mean, when you look at the history, you know, people talk about Tulsa and then, you know, Rosewood. I mean, we had whole black cities. We can do it. You know, I just say the things I say because it's like we just need a way to have industry and produce our own resources. And I always look at like it'd just be easier, blah, 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 this way, that way. But there's nothing we can't do because there's nothing we haven't done. I think you made that point too. Like we can do it. Like people talk about Tulsa. That was right. That was Reconstruction. We built whole cities out after slavery from nothing. We didn't have to oppress nobody. We didn't have to enslave. You know what I'm saying? Like we were able to do that. So it can be done. You know. I mean, it took 200 years for the white man to build this country, if you want to call it that. But it took them 200 years to establish, and that was from stealing and pillaging.
Exactly.
So
They didn't build nothing. We were already here. What you talking about?
exactly. So
They
we
didn't
did it
build
from our
nothing.
bare hands after slavery. So we can do it.
Yes, we can do it. We did it before. We
Yep.
showed them how to do it. Shoot. But it's time for us to wake up and start doing it. I mean, some of you guys on here can do a GoFundMe and do a community store. And that's where the community, comes and participates with growing that store and doing clinics too. Why not do a GoFundMe on here and let's start doing our clinics nationwide just for us? But everybody is sitting up here talking about, well, we were conquered and, we under the curse and, we can't do anything because we're waiting on God to come back to do it for us. And I'm looking at them like, what are you talking about? That sounds so stupid to me. We've been building since forever. What the hell are you talking about? Now, all of a sudden you conquered and you can't move. What? You can't build. You can't come together. Let me tell you something. If we can give money to Tariq Nasheed to build a little museum, okay, why couldn't that money go toward a community store? Why couldn't that money go toward a clinic in that area? Because I know doggone well in that area you got a whole lot of homeless folk, I'm sure. So
Right.
why couldn't that money go toward our own clinics and our own hospitals? Why are we participating? They gave that man over $1 million. I think it was $1 million. It could have been more than that. You mean to tell me black folk don't have no money? Black folk got money for what they
Oh no,
want.
we got money.
They got money. My thing is, everybody, we got 1 million people to give me a dollar. We can go and build our own. I guarantee you, each person give me $1. I'll put a community store on the corner. I'll put a clinic on the corner. I guarantee you it. But guess what? We don't want to do that. We want to bitch and complain about how white folk is mistreat your children in their schools. But you keep putting your children in their schools. You working on their jobs. They don't know how to treat you on their jobs. And you still come faithfully every day. Instead of establishing your own and us supporting you, let you get your truck like my girl who has a trucking company. Oh, I'm going to use that trucking company. I'm going to send my boys there and we're going to train them up. And then she's going to open up one in Greensboro and we're going to train them up there too. We have to work together. This individualized whatever mentality we got. I don't know where it came from because black folk used to work together all the time. What is going on where we don't have that mentality where we're going to work as a team and we're going to build our clinics? Forecast, you was trying to do some water. You can build a clinic there in Richmond. You can build a community store there in Richmond because you got a lot of black folk in Richmond. I used to live up there. I'm just saying, it is time for us to stop talking about what they doing and let's talk about what we're doing right now. What are we trying to do? What's on the agenda? Who has to GoFundMe and we can support that GoFundMe and we can start getting some things done today. Period.
You're right. You know what?
Ready to build?
You know what?
I
gave an economic plan one time, right? And I said I wish one of them big channels would take it and use it. In all honesty, and what I did was I said if we had 20,000 people, right? That's small. It's big, but it's really small. 20,000 people, right? To the amount of population in this country, we had 20,000 black people. Give $10 a month. That's $200,000 a month, right? So in 1 year, we have $2,400,000, right? Now, to get your own credit union, it take $1 million in assets, $1 million cash. Then you with national credit of the federal credit union, right? Or we can just leave the money in a black-owned bank, and we have a committee, and we have people who overseeing, and people can come to us. But now, just we get to 2.4 million. We don't stop putting in. We have to keep putting in. But now we're at the point where we can start loaning some of these people $5,000, $10,000 toward a business, $15,000 towards your business. You come, you show us your business plan, and show us what you're doing, and what you planning to do with for Black people with your business. Yeah, and that's the thing. And we could fund. I think about that. 20,000 people gave 10. Just think about that. And that's really not a big number. 20,000 times 10. 20,000. You know, we got 20,000 Black people that can afford $10 a month. That's not even that huge. We need more than that. But to keep it small and simple, I came up with a small and simple number. But then we would be in position to do the things that we would be in position to start doing some of the things that we need to do. We need to help fund. We could help fund our sister who want to make bullets and be the first female Black bullet distributor. This is the type of funding we need to do the things that we want to do, but instead we would donate to something that really doesn't matter. A so-called hidden history museum. What's the purpose? We have
what you need. Look how Bakari, wait. Look how much that dude got in 1 month.
He got over $1
million.
Yep, in 2 months. But
information you can look, we can all look up on the internet on all them people who's going to be in the museum. You know what I'm saying?
I'm done.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bakari. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. I just wanted to say that. And if it makes sense to anybody, I want you can let me know if it makes sense in the chat, I guess.
It makes a lot of sense. We can even do Georgia because Georgia is the blackest city that we know, and you are in Georgia. We can have our community stores, our community hospitals, clinics right there in Georgia because we have a lot of Black folk there. My thing is, who wants to do it? We talk, and everybody act like they're so busy. You can do if who was that? Tariq did $1 million in 1 month. Who's to say, Bakari, that you can't do a GoFundMe? We support that GoFundMe, and you get a clinic in Georgia. I'm just saying, we talk too much. It's time for action. This right here just gets me a headache because I'm all about business. You guys know that. I'm ready to build. I will do a collection today. And if I could get enough money, I will put with one right here in North Carolina. And have a community, because we got a lot of Black folk in North Carolina too. I'm just saying.
Of course. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, and I should have. I'm being honest. I should have left the Atlanta area a long time ago after my wife. I really don't like it here. Atlanta is big, is big and for show for Black people. And I'm just being honest. If this what we think we're gonna start with medical clinics and all that for Black people, this is just my honest opinion. I don't think Atlanta would be the place. Atlanta is the place for the bougie Black people. And I'm being honest with you. Where would you say is a good spot? And I live here, huh?
Where would you say is a good spot to start it? In maybe in Mississippi and Boulay? Where's that in Mississippi? Mount Bayou?
Well, Mount Bayou, yeah, they are. You know, if you look up now, they've already rebuilt them a Black medical clinic there. They just want people to come here. They redoing everything.
Wow.
That's the only place in this country no one has ever owned a business other than Black people.
What? See, that might be where we need to do community store. That might be where we need to do the community everything. I'm just saying. You
know, when you said North, look, this is my thing. I don't know what part of North Carolina you live in. I believe we have a better shot in smaller communities where white people haven't started building yet. Like they haven't started building anything in Jackson yet. And there's a reason but why they haven't. With all the companies that tried to come to Jackson, the government would turn it down because they didn't want Black people to have nothing. It's amazing how many factories how many companies over the last 10 years, 15 years that tried to go to Jackson, Mississippi, and the state government wouldn't allow it because they don't want Black people. But we got the first Black-owned tech school that should be opening. I think it opened August this year. It's owned by a Black lady. She's opening it up in Jackson, Mississippi. She want more Black tech, what they were doing. And it's a lot of reasons that they don't want them to have their water. They had a plan, and they had an organization, and they created a plan. They said they wanted to make Jackson a smaller version of Silicon Valley for Black techies. So they have already, it was at least one company from Texas, and I want to say 2 companies from California that got like $300,000 for them to move their company to Mississippi, and it's black owned, and they have to hire black people. So
Okay.
Forecast, you did a show about that, Forecast.
Yeah, I remember.
So we have some ideas. So we have a couple places where, and Jackson State wouldn't be a bad place to start and have a community store, you know, and a clinic. I'm just saying there are things that we can do right now to change things. But we sitting up here waiting on white folks to do it for us. They looking at y'all like we ain't trying to do nothing for y'all niggas. Sorry, I know y'all don't like that word, but I this is what they think.
That's
They're
what
not going to try. They're not going to do anything to help you to survive. It's going to be up to black folk. If you want to survive, you want to eat, it's going to be up to you to do it. You can sit there waiting on them if you want to. Go ahead.
I would prefer Richmond over Atlanta. I'm being honest. Atlanta, with all the popularity in their town, I'm telling you, this place is for the bougie black people. And I'm being honest with you. I would prefer Richmond, Virginia. I'm telling you the honest truth. Let me see.
Richmond, Virginia will work too. I don't care where you put it, as long as you start putting it somewhere.
We have places like Wilmington, North Carolina, because I know about their history too. So we have
Wilmington. You know they ran them black folk up out of there in Wilmington back in the day. They had a black government. They ran them. Them crackers ran them niggas up out of there. They did.
But you don't want to. But Atlanta is way too bougie. It's way too bougie.
But guess what? Forecast. Richmond wouldn't be bad. Why not do Richmond?
I mean, you would be able to make it work. I mean, it's still the same.
Doing a whole lot of stammering over there.
Yeah, I know, because black people here is the same issue everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Like, but I think we can make it work though. Like,
but Forecast, you.
I know it's true. That's how it will work. You would probably stutter. Like, it could probably maybe we could try it. I guess.
I'm just saying. I want you to look for a space down there because that'll be something that you could run. That could be your own business.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, I could definitely.
I'm just saying, look for a spot, and we'll do a GoFundMe and see what happens. We have to try it. We can't just talk. I'm all about building. Period. You guys know that it's about building. You look for a spot, you do a GoFundMe, and we'll go from there. How about that? If what's his name can get $1 million, why can't we do it?
Yeah. Hey, South Fulton is a city that used to be part of Atlanta. Now when I say these black folks is bougie, listen to this. You see what I talked about the white people in Atlanta, and you see what they're doing in Jackson, right? South Fulton was some black people that said, we don't want to be part of this. We creating our own. You know who went against them more than anybody? The black folks in Atlanta. But it still became their own city. So they do have a black city here called South Fulton that stepped away. So if we could talk to people from South Fulton, that would be different. South Fulton, Georgia. If you look it up, it's either called South Fulton County, Georgia, or it's South Fulton, and it's not far from me. But yes, it was black people that was against them when they said they want their own city, they want their own mayor, they want their own police, they want their own city council. It was black people from Atlanta that was going against them. I was proud of it.
I think we need. I told y'all I have a girlfriend that's into mental health. I'm gonna have her to come on because I really need her to help me to understand how do we deal with black folk that's so dependent and so in love with white folk that don't want to disappoint massa. How do we deal with that? How do we break that down? How do we break that mindset? I need somebody that's in maybe a therapy or a psychiatrist, psychologist to come on. And let's talk about that because I don't understand that mentality. I don't. You don't ever want to do for self. You don't ever want to be free. You always want to struggle, always want to walk in the toxicity of white folk. Every time they are part of something, it's a toxic environment. And you're not tired of that? Why aren't we tired of that? Why are we still waiting to be free? Why are we still waiting for them to free us? We vote and I heard a white black person say, well, y'all not voting, you don't get nothing. We ain't get nothing anyway, dummy. What in the world? What don't you understand about that? We've been voting for since we could, and we've not gotten anything ever. You show me one thing that the Democratic Party has done for black people, and I'll eat my words here. I'm just saying, there's not one thing. I mean, by just for black people, not for black people and brown, black people and cripples, black people and the HBCs. I'm saying black folk only. What has the Democratic Party done for just black people? And they can't tell me one thing.
That-
They've not done anything. Go ahead.
And that's what I was saying about, you know, like Richmond, like, because like right now, you know, VCU, and they got a lot of money and they buying up all the, like, they're pushing people out of Richmond. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make it like you know,
for the colleges.
Yeah. And they buying up a lot of the properties, and like it's businesses, not just like the school either. Like they controlling stuff in the city.
Wow.
But, like,
you serious?
Yeah, but I mean, it's still spots that you can get to, but like it's like here, right? You heard of John Marshall High School?
Yeah.
You know they about to start closing. They closing that school. They about to close like 5, and it's all black schools. You know what I'm saying? And we got a black mayor who we went out, like I even voted for the dude. You know what I'm saying? And this was back when I could first vote, like 2016. Yeah, dude, Mayor Stoney, and he a Democrat, but he's on that, you know, good people on both sides kind of thing, people of color. And, you know, that's the issue with, like, to say, like, yo, our schools is closing and we got the black mayor and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Lord,
like,
I'm just
the
so
white
done.
schools getting, like, and that's what they be like, because it's still white schools in Richmond Public Schools. It's still segregated. You might get 2 black kids there. But the white schools is getting the funding and the black schools is not, you know what I'm saying?
And that's why they closing, because they can't survive. But you got black folk in office that won't make sure. And this is when we hold black folk accountable. When you get in office, you don't do, and we're going to vote you in. We'll give you a list. This is what we want. This is what we need you to do. If you're not doing, we hold you accountable. We don't keep them in for 4 and 5 terms if they can't do what we ask them to do. Seriously, it's time to get rid of some of them seats in the Black Caucus. It's time to clear house. I'm serious. It's time to get black folk that's foundational black, because you got all these black folk coming from all over everywhere that has never been through what we've gone through, who don't even know how to think like we don't even, you know, they so busy loving on massa that they can't even vote against something that's getting ready to happen that's going to separate the black and white folk in Jackson. My thing is, when are we going to make a difference? When are we going to look out for us, just like they're looking out for themselves? When are we going to do that? Why can't we do it right now? What is the problem? We have folk that you know, we are black first, B1, right? Those are the ones that we're going to have to count on right now to make things happen. Sorry. Everybody is not cut out to do what we're cut out to do. We think different. We act different. We totally different from them. But it's the ones that are different that's going to have to make the change right now, make the difference right now. We can't count on anybody else. We can't even count on black folk that look like you, because if they not foundational black American or with that B1 mindset, you can't even count on them. Seriously. Because that mayor, like you said, you got a black mayor in Richmond who's not even trying to do anything for black people. He's trying to work against, and he's part of the boule. You have to understand, when you're talking about those boule, I did a story on the boules. When you're talking about those boules, you are talking about educated, quote unquote, black folk that don't want to do anything for their own, because they went to a white university. They taught them how to think like them. They taught them how to act like them, and they're teaching them, and they are so busy trying to impress massa that they have nothing but black folk, period. They don't even want to be black, period. And that's okay. So we already know that we can't take everybody with us, but we need to start buying up land. We need to start doing for self. I tell you that much. Y'all got your taxes back. Okay. Why can't you do a community store? Why can't we do a community clinic? I mean, come on, you guys. We can do it. But
what y'all think about properties? Like,
why not?
You guys, yeah, like Airbnbs.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
Why not? Why not? We need our own businesses. That's a great business to have.
Because if enough of us do it, we could get a whole building. You know what I'm saying? If you get one building and get a few
you're right.
Rooms in there, and enough of us get together, before you know it, we'll have a whole building, and then we could use that to give us that leverage that the brother was talking about.
Right.
Brothers and sisters can be in that building. You don't have to pay as much. That way you can save more from your regular jobs and stuff, and then you can build more wealth and businesses and blah, 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 blah. You know, just little stuff, you know.
Totally agree. And that's what they did in Africa. A lot of Africans now are building more Airbnbs, but you have a lot of foreigners that have come in there, Africa also opening up the Airbnbs. But it's catching on there now, Because I mean, when I went, that's all I didn't do a hotel. I did Airbnb. I wanted to support us and only the black ones. I didn't go to the whatever. I went to the black Airbnbs because they had the great prices and they were safe.
See, that's the thing about American dollars. In Africa, our dollars, we can purchase more than we could here in Africa. So we have an advantage. That's why I say if we really wanted to, and we really got on that Africa ship, or on that Africa tip, we could do some damage over there because we already got the numbers over there.
And guess what? Now is the time to do it. Now I keep telling people, now Africa is the now. When I say it's the now, I'm getting ready to buy some more land. You have to understand, land is what, $600, $1,000,
there you go.
$1,200. Who don't have $600 right now that can buy a plot? Who don't have $600? I'm doing it right now. Again, this will be my third plot. Period. I'm gonna buy as much of it as I can. Plain and simple. That will be my retirement. Period.
Yes.
It's time to do something different. I'm not playing with this thing. I will not spend a dime here in America giving them any part of my retirement. I won't. My retirement will be spent overseas.
Facts.
Plain and simple. I'm not doing it.
I'm trying to do the same exact thing.
I am going to build a house on my land, and I'm going to be living back and forth. I'll be back and forth for a minute, but the main focus is going to be there for me.
Yes.
But it's time for us to do something different. Y'all can stay here if you want to. Your money is not going anywhere. Your money, you got to struggle to do this. Black folk don't want to do. It's time for us to build together. We can't do this by ourselves.
Yes.
We can't. And we just so individualized. We got, people like Forecast, like I said, that'll be your own business. You can actually do a community store. You can do a clinic. You can oversee it. And hire a doctor to come in once a week. Hire a dentist to come in once a week. Hire an attorney to come in once a week. That's 3 days right there. And we can get a doula and we can get the midwife in there to come in there to birth some babies. This can be done. But we're not asking you to do it by yourself. All you have to do is do a GoFundMe. We participate. We pass it around. We tell people about it. And we get enough money. And you find a place for it that's in a pretty much predominantly black area. Okay. And we'll have security. We'll have security that will be securing that building at night. When we leave from 5 to 5 in the morning, we will have security. We leave there at 5 o'clock at night. Security be there from 5 till we get there to what time you open, 7 or 8 in the morning. Security will be patrolling that building because of the area it's going to be in. But my thing is, we can do it. All we have to do is put our monies together. Tariq Nasheed just did $1 million in what, 2 months? Okay. Right. What's the problem? Do we want to grow? I'm so tired of black folk talking about we woke, but you still doing the same thing. How woke are you? How can you say you're woke if you're still doing the same thing you was doing when you was asleep? That don't sound like it's woke to me. What right. I'm just saying, we doing the same stuff. What are we doing different? Where's the mainstream schools? Where's the stuff? Where? Help me. When I woke up, I built a foundation. What the hell? What's going on? Let's do this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not understanding. I want to talk about this, the Colorado man. I want to talk a little bit about him. I'm going to pull him up. Anybody have anything to say? We're going to touch, but I want y'all to see something, how white folk are when we can they can come into our neighborhood. Remember Jeffrey Dahmer? He went into a black neighborhood and he lived in that neighborhood for 10 years and eating people. And he was able he ate free. He ate black food, literally 10 years, and nobody bothered him. Now you got a black farmer that went and fed them crackers through the sea. I don't want to say, because I don't want, that to ding my channel, but when they wanted to do this to black folk, okay, he fed them white folk, and they turn around now and they poisoning his animals. They doing all kind of crazy stuff, and you got black folk talking foolishness about this man. When they actually literally killed one of his workers on his lot, and the police want to investigate it. Somebody actually walked in on his wife. A white man walked in on his wife while she was taking a shower. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
What?
I just want y'all, we're going to talk just a little bit about our brother. Let me try to sit up here.
I'm going to step away, but I'll be back. I got to step away for a second. I'm going to try to get back. I'm going to keep listening. I'm going to try to get back before you get off.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, I'm going to keep listening, though.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to share. Let me find it. I think it's right. I got to find out where it is here. I think it's right here somewhere. But I'm telling you, we gotta do better with this. Hold on, y'all. No, I don't want to talk about him no more. I'm sick of talking about that man. I have it on here somewhere, you guys. I gotta find it. See, that my Black Farm. Okay, this is where he. Okay, let's talk a little bit about him. Can y'all see it? I want to see.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, you see it. Okay. Black Rancher. Let's talk about this. Let's see what. Let's watch. Let's see what they're talking about. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got. Let's see what we got. Come on.
Sail through the heart of historic cities and unforgettable.
I don't want to hear all of that, but this is, and you have Black folk that's sitting up here, but they have trained us and taught us how not to believe us. When we say anything, I got people say, how you know? Or where that come from? Or what news did you hear that from? I'm looking at them like, do you ask white folk that when they come and tell you anything about anything? No, we don't do that. We believe you have to prove to them what's going on. You got to, oh shoot, I want to hear this. Hold on now.
On claims of racism. Courtney and Nicole Mallory say they've been harassed at their ranch in El Paso County for being Black. As Michael Beta tells us, the group is now hoping lawmakers will introduce a bill that would have consequences for those who call 911 just because of someone's race.
No farmers, no food. Courtney Mallory didn't grow up dreaming of being a farmer, but as an adult, he grew fond of agriculture.
Farming's not easy. You gotta love it. I love it with all my heart.
He and his wife, Nicole, bought a 1,000-acre ranch in El Paso County 3 years ago and started settling into the community. But within the past year, they say things have turned ugly between them and their neighbors.
It's truly been an eye-opener for me.
A dispute over an easement located between their property and a neighbor's property led to multiple restraining orders and arrests of the Mallorys and their neighbor, Teresa Clark. Courtney and Nicole say the dispute also turned racial with some of their neighbors.
We are stalked, we are harassed, we are chased, we are followed. There's been spray paint where they put on items.
What me and my wife have been going through, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
The Mallorys believe another part of this racial harassment is their neighbors needlessly calling the El Paso County Sheriff's Office on them and anyone who visits their land. What do we want? Justice! That's why they came to Denver to ask lawmakers to pass the Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies Act. It would make it illegal to falsely report a crime to police as a way to target someone because of their race.
It protects all people of color. Just the act of falsely accusing someone of something because of their color is disgusting to me.
They held a rally at the Capitol Friday morning, followed by a march to the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial in City Park. Courtney Mallory says he's heartened to see the support they got.
I didn't expect all of this for little old me, but I just want to farm in peace.
Michael Aveta, covering Colorado First.
Okay, let's talk about that. What's your thoughts? Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing here. Okay. Okay, what's your thoughts, you guys? What do you think? What's going on?
I've been wanting to.
Oh, go ahead, Zakar.
No, go ahead.
No, well, I was just gonna say, it's just the same thing repeating over and over, and I mean, there's a whole lot of things in this, because like one brother talk about getting land in Oregon and stuff like that. So you might want to pay attention to your surroundings, you know what I'm saying, first and foremost,
Thank you.
Because you gotta expect, you know what I'm saying. It's only been like 700 years of the same thing over and over. But they literally got a history of like burning down the things that they know is going to set economic power. Like people might think that, if I say something crazy like, we need to get together and do this, it's actually more dangerous to be like, we need to find a sustainable energy source so we can make our own power. Or like what Cassandra, that's why you get Black, because you're talking about business, something that you can actually separate yourself off of. And that's what they do. Like I saw a story, I don't know if it's true or not, but this couple in New Jersey, they had a bakery They was going through the same thing. They was making a lot of money, so the people who was jealous. They kicked them out. They tried to file all kind of lawsuits and all of this stuff. And
remember with the turkey hut in Georgia, those people going through the same stuff.
Yeah.
But my thing is, okay, why? Where's his support? Where's his support? Where's Turkey Leg support? Where's the people support in Georgia? Black folk don't support each other. That's the problem. If we came out in droves, more so than what we just saw, if we would come out in droves, we wouldn't have, they would stop. We could shut them down. But we won't do that. We'll sit up there, well, it ain't my farm. Well, it ain't me. Well. It's always well. But like you said, let's start paying attention to where you're putting your farms. I would never go to Oregon, Iowa, Montana, Dakota, South Dakota, North Dakota. I would never go to them areas and farm nothing. I don't care if I can starve to death. I'm just saying, these are areas that I would not touch. I don't even want to visit them. Period. You feel me? I'm sorry. And I just believe that we have to be focused. You mean to tell me he couldn't find no farm in a different place than Colorado? I'm just saying, my daughter went to school there, and I was very often called daily, okay, about them doing something. I was always calling security because I wanted them to know, what's your name? Because I'm coming. Seriously. And I would do that. I would ask them, give me your name, who I'm talking to, because something happened to my daughter. Trust and believe you're going to see my face. Because I was calling every day. She was going to University of Denver. And, oh, God, it was every day. But I had another daughter that went to all black, Norfolk State, I had no problems, none whatsoever. But this Denver University, I'm telling you, I was calling security every other day, especially Fridays, Saturdays, when the kids was out, she was going through hell. She did 2 years there, 2 years, and got her a bachelor's, but it was 2 years of hell. And I wanted her to understand how to deal with them. She handled them well, right? Didn't transfer her. Go ahead and get your degree and come on out of there. But I'm telling you, I was plenty of nights I was like worried because I didn't want her to go in the first place, but that was her choice. So she had to understand and see how those crackers was. And she was able to see and understand racism. She'd never known it because I protected her from it, right? She got down there and she said, well, I think I'm experiencing, you probably are with all them crackers down there. Yeah, you was experiencing it. Went to a Chinese store and the same thing. But we have to start learning their tactics. Why is it that we want to go into an all-white farming area? Why? Why did he think that was okay? When he was feeding them crackers and they were starving, you was feeding them, it was good. But as soon as they ate and got full, what they do? They bit your hand, didn't they? This is what black folk are not understanding. You cannot feed them. You cannot participate. You cannot be around them. You can't mix and mingle. You can't have babies with them. You cannot marry into their family because they're going to treat you just like Mary, who is it, Markley, who married the prince. They showed her, didn't they? And that boy had to leave England or wear Brit for his family to be okay. But when are we going to learn their tactics? When are we going to understand? Get away, stay away, and separate. Go ahead, Forecast. Who has something to say?
Yeah. Just one more thing, because like you said, like that part of it too, and then like the other part that you said, they know our tactics, which is we ain't gonna do nothing about it. They know that they can come in the all black area and set up shop and make a new government in the middle of your stuff, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. But when you come to their stuff, they're going to make sure that you aren't able to do whatever it is you need to do. Even they don't care. Like Bakari said, he fed those people. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's the lesson that black people got to keep learning. You going to keep getting your hand bit because the thing that you're feeding is biting your hand. And we don't understand that. But until we did it back in the day, believe it or not, like they talk about Black Wall Street, but Black Wall Street was black men going down there to make sure a young black 21-year-old didn't get hung. You know what I'm saying? Armed black men went down there and confronted a mob. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Today, you will let them do whatever. But at the end of the day, my brother Oni was saying it, like you can be as smart as you want to be, but sometimes you're just gonna have to punch somebody in the face. You know what I'm saying? But
you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. They'll punch you in the face, wouldn't it? But we have to understand that they're not trying to integrate with us, but we always trying to go over there to them. We'll go over there in a minute. And I remember back in the day, and I told a story all the time when I grew up in Indiana, and Valpo and those southern South Bend, Maryville, all these other little areas of Indiana was very racist, right? We had this black family who he bought him a Shell station. He thought he was in with white folk. He made that money. He bought a house out there in Valpo, Indiana, and it was so racist. And they burned a cross in this neighborhood. And most black people were like, what in the world? But people was like, wow, you out there. He thought he was going, because he had his money and his money was green. Okay. But he thought he was going to live amongst the white folk. They burned a cross in his yard. And this was, oh my God, everybody was like, we were up in arms because we were like, what in the world? But this is teaching you, and it's still telling you today, they don't want you integrating with them. They don't want to live around you. And we still, every chance we get, we try to force them devils to come on. I'm gonna sit at your table. You're gonna feed me. I'm gonna come to your restaurant and you're gonna feed me. Why would you want to eat behind them? Why would you want them to serve you anything after you knowing that they can't stand you, after you know that they hate you, after you know that they don't want you around? Why would you try to force them to fix you a meal? Are you out of your damn mind? That just makes no sense to me, how we was getting spit on and we would get beat and they would sit in those restaurants and they would spit in your face. That wouldn't have worked for me. I would have been dead. I'm just saying. I would have been there in the first place. I'm just saying. Because I didn't believe that, what Martin Luther King was talking. I was more Malcolm, that I believed in, we're going to go over here and we're going to stick to ourselves and we're going to do what we need to do for us. But most black folk was hating on the Muslims and hating on Malcolm because he, what his message and King's message was so different. But most black folks was ready to sit in their restaurants. They were ready to get their face busted in, and they were ready to get, water sprayed on them. They were ready to spit in the face. I couldn't handle all that. I'm just saying that wouldn't have been me. I wouldn't have been like, I'm not. You do that. I'm not doing that over there. But we're not recognizing. And then you got some people saying, well, he's even with this young man with the Colorado, they're even talking about they were poisoning their own animals, but they use their own laws against us. They are come up with a law like they did with NFAC. Okay, they came up with some laws that he was, but even though he said he was working with them, right? He was, he would always let them know, but they didn't let him know that they was going to be up on that building that night. Though, did they? See what I'm saying? How you try to go and do things the right way, and you still got caught up with some mess with them because they created a law. It was like 2 weeks before they arrested him. They created this law and they came up with a law, and that's why he got arrested. That law wasn't even out there. They created that law. Go ahead. I'm gonna bring Bakari back up. Go ahead, Bakari. Anybody get? Hey, go ahead, Bakari.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, I want to say this, right? Because a lot of people don't know this, right? Y'all do know MLK was with Kwame Ture, right? Yep. Y'all do know MLK literally had snipers with him, and actually they killed white folks. People forget that part about MLK. I tell people, get a book that says this nonviolent stuff will get you killed. People forget that part about MLK. MLK was fighting mainly for desegregation, not integration. It turned into integration, but to understand MLK, you got to understand the beginning and the end, and not just truly focus on like the middle. Because if you truly study it, like I'm gonna say what Kwame Ture said. Malcolm said we should get and do whatever, but he never stood up to the white man like MLK did. MLK went to their face. Kwame Ture had guns while he was with MLK. I just want people to understand that we only know the one part about MLK, and he need to be truly studied, and we will see how many snipers. Like at one point he was in Virginia. He was going to Virginia through Richmond, and they asked him, do you know that there's people here that want to get the police, right? And MLK said, yep, I know they're there. They're not necessarily with me, but I'm not going to tell them to go home. It keep y'all from hitting me. And it was because the snipers in Virginia, they had some in Carolina, and they had some in Mississippi and Louisiana that had actually Martin Luther King knew was there, that had actually took out a couple of police and took out some white folks. Martin Luther King did change his message. He did change what he was doing. But MLK literally fought more white folks than the people that walking around talking with the Muslims. I'm just being honest. He actually literally had people literally do something to white folks, like literally shoot white folks. He just didn't talk about it like that.
To shoot. The day that they shot him, he should have had what was those snappers? They should have been right there shooting back. I'm just saying. And they should have got some other folk that was around him that allowed him to get shot, that sold him out. So just like those snipers should have taken, or I don't condone violence, I'm just saying I believe in justice, but my thing is whoever was there and set him up should have got the same fate. That's all I'm saying.
Okay? King was shutting down white businesses too.
Well, he ain't shut down enough. They should have shut down more.
The only reason I said something, because I used to be extremely hard too, and I had somebody sit down and literally just show me a whole lot of stuff. I'm like, damn, I ain't know MLK did all that. They was like, yeah, because the TV ain't gonna show you everything that MLK did.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Especially that part of it, especially that part about the snipers, which is great because if he was talking about, well, I met with the sheriff, but these are the same people that turned around and bit you because you were trusting them. You know what I'm saying? They on a roof and now you got to shine your whatever up there and, whatever's attached to it or whatever. So now you got 7 years because of, I just think it could have been done different. But even right now, I believe that we can do some things to be free. Stop trying to mix and mingle. Plain and simple. They don't want, and this is proof, they don't want you to mix and mingle with them. They don't want to integrate with you. Every time you see that we go to mix and mingle, integrate with them, we meet some stuff like this. We go through craziness like this. Long as we stay to ourselves, even when you stay to yourself, we're gonna find out that it's gonna be a couple that trickle on in. But they can be shut down because they, it ain't too many that's gonna trickle. But the ones that do trickle, you chop their head off and keep moving. But we gotta start building our own right now. They do stuff for generations. We have not even started building for our generation. I hope and pray that we don't leave this mess to our grandchildren. I'm serious. I don't like what I'm seeing as far as what I'm seeing in these schools, what they're teaching our children. Our children, you think they jacked up now? Let them get another 60 years. Let them get another 10 or 15 years. You're going to see, boys, you ain't going to be able to tell the difference. You ain't going to be able, it's going to be a hot mess. And they only doing it with our babies. Because white folk got their children in their own private little charter schools that's being taught by them. But they're not teaching LGBT and NLP in their schools. That's black folk they teach it. And we know that. And we still allow them to educate our babies. I'm just saying. So when are we going to get tired of what we're seeing? When are we going to get tired of allowing them to educate our babies, and our babies acting a fool now? Our children act just like them. Well, that's what happens when you allow enemies to educate your children. We begin to take on their characteristics. So that's what you're seeing. So you say, oh my God, pray for our babies. No, get your babies out of their schools. Get your baby away from them, and you start educating your baby so we can teach them a code of behavior. We can teach them how to start thinking black, loving black, being black, and loving to be black, and loving on each other. It's a lot now that we've allowed 70 years, 60 years of them educating our babies, and we have a mess on our hands. Look at this. How are we going to fix this? It's going to take years to fix this mess. We've allowed them to get into our babies' minds, in our minds. It's not just because it started in our generation, right? When we integrated with them. And they started right then of changing it against each other. Now we distrust each other. We don't trust each other. Somebody try to show you something. You gotta, give me proof. I ain't believing it. Where you get that from? Who told you that? Da, da, da. But then let NBC tell you something. CNN tell you something. Oh, you suck it right on up. Watch it faithfully because white folk, Massa told me. Massa told me, so it must be true. Really? Seriously? When we gonna get it together? Now is the prime opportunity to get it together. Now is the time to grow. Now is the time to build. So who's ready to build? Who's ready? Anybody got anything they want to say?
I mean, I'll go to the last point, but even like with that whole thing back then, it was complicated, you know what I'm saying? And I disagree. We all disagree with that nonviolent, the method of that. And a lot of black people back then did too, you know what I'm saying? And if you pay attention, like even the year before Martin Luther King got killed, it was more riots the year before, you know what I'm saying? Because black people was straight fighting back. And then is his brother name who I just I came back across named Dr. Robert Haling, who was the first black dentist who was on the American Dental Association. But he led the St. Augustine movement, and he was against the nonviolent tactics, and he practiced armed self-defense, you know what I'm saying? And he said that he said we will shoot, he said we armed and we will shoot first and ask questions later, you know what I'm saying? Then they said we're not just gonna die like other people died, you know what I'm saying?
No, yes.
And then one time when the Klan tried to come to their community, you know, him and several other people in this group like ran them off by shooting at them and stuff like that. So, you know, and so he you know, it was people that like, yo, stood up, and they even like kidnapped his brother, and he still didn't even stop, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to say that, but it's like you said, Cassandra, it's like you building like what you got going on, and then like how you showing me how nonprofits and like business work just by watching what you do, and like you and Matron kind of showing me the ropes of that, you know what I'm saying? And if I got questions, I can ask you, you know what I'm saying? But we just got to realize, you know, like the brother said before, it took them 200-300 years, and they was stealing and killing to get what they got, you know what I'm saying? And we have done that in even shorter amount of time. It's just that we also, you know, allow outsiders to come in a little bit too much, and you know what I'm saying? But it takes time. It's just working together. You can start from like us group put down resources together and working it out, you know what I'm saying? But it's just actually taking a step, you know what I'm saying? So like with your business, it took time to get where it is, and it's gonna take time for it to keep growing, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and black people think tomorrow the sky is gonna crack, and then, you know, we gonna be saved, and then it's good. But no, it don't work that way, you know what I'm saying? Once you get rid of them, then you got to rebuild your stuff, you know what I'm saying? So
you got to get rid of some black folk that you're gonna have to get rid of first. You're gonna have to get rid of some black folk that's got that white supremacy mindset, you know, that's gonna try to COINTELPRO. Okay, so we gotta clean house. We got to clean house, because it's time for us to really start recognizing their tactics. And it's a shame they've been around doing this since forever, and we still act like we cannot learn. We don't understand their tactics. I don't understand that. I don't know if we just blame. I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's some that get it and some still don't get it. And you're waiting on them to catch up. Y'all gonna catch up anytime soon. Anytime soon. But they're like, what? What are you talking about? Just like I was in a thing yesterday, we was on a panel, and we were talking about colorism, right? And I had a woman, and I couldn't even she was saying at the end, she said, I just don't understand that. You know, she's probably got a lot of white friends. Anybody that makes a comment about not understanding that prejudice and racism is still so prevalent in America, when you make a comment like that, I know that you have a lot of white friends, and you're not woke as you think, even though you know, but we were dealing, you know, she was, you know, she made that comment, and I couldn't understand the comment, but I looked at her and I'm like, what do you mean? And my husband happened to say, well, you ain't seen all these black folk dying in the street, you know, but it was so crazy for her to make that comment, and for other black folk to say, ooh, even in 2023, we still seeing blah, blah, blah. And you're looking at them like, it never stopped. What are you talking about? And they are so blinded by what's really going on. And you got some black folk that really believe that their best friend is Becky. Go figure that out. I'd be scared to be best friends with. I'd be scared to be in the same room with them, because when they around, I'm looking, because I got my, you know, I'm looking, because I understand what we're dealing with. In a minute. So yeah, so we have to get to the place where we are recognizing and learning their tactics. But we're gonna do a close. Anybody got closing statements? We lost somebody. Where's my boy? We lost somebody. Who we lose? Sankofa. We lost him. Okay, if he wants to call back, you feel free. But yeah, anybody got closing statements? We're gonna just close with that, unless you got something else you guys want to talk about.
No, I'm going to say this and close. Look, thank you for letting me speak, Cassandra. It was wonderful. It's always good being up here with you. Forecast, good to see Zankari, to chat, everybody. I'm going to be doing one in a minute. I guess, I don't know, about 4:30. I'm going to do White People Talking Points Part 2. Okay. And I think I'm gonna piss some folks off, but it better pissed off than pissed on. How about that? But that, that's what I'm gonna do. I just got to go get all my information and get it together. I'm gonna show white people talking points for it too. But thank you for letting me speak, and this was great.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, shouts out to Bakari. I'm gonna check that out. They was mad at the last one, Bakari, I think, but this was a great live, considering always, because like what you say is on point. I still want to talk about nonprofits, just to put that information out there with you. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody, because I think that's a valuable tool. Like you using it, very valuable. You know what I'm saying? I think we can do a lot with that. Later I do got another Black lesson thing coming up at like 8:00 today. So
Yes, awesome. I wish you guys can put your links in because I don't know everybody's links, but I wish you guys, if you can, Forecast, put some links in the chat for us because I don't know everybody's link. I'm sorry, you guys. Sankofa, welcome back. Come on back.
Yeah, I don't know what I got out for a minute, but by accident. But yeah, I just think that it's people just what the brother was just talking about. People they're afraid to stand on their own feet. They're afraid to. There's too many people that are emotionally attached to white folks, and because of the emotional attachments and those type of connections and relationships, they're kind of afraid to make certain stances because they're afraid they'll be called racist and so on and so forth, and that's kind of a problem too. But the thing is, people need to look at it like I think all the other races, they don't move like that. They still make decisions that's their people first and their interests, and they don't care what other people think. We're the only people that really do that. But I think when enough of us, which enough of us are, when enough of us wake up and get together and start pulling our resources together and building, as you say, which is the only thing we should be focused on, not racism per se, but building.
Yes.
Then we'll make some dents in this. We can do it. Like I said, we've done it.
I appreciate everybody coming on, and I want everybody to like and share. Hit the bell, you guys. Here's a thumbs up or something. It doesn't cost anything to do that, but it's time for us to support each other's show. It's time to support us, and we got to get the mindset right. Seriously, it's time for us to really put things in perspective and stop saying that what we can't do. We can't because we don't want to, or we can't because we don't. It ain't that we can't, because I did a whole foundation. I'm just saying, and putting folk to work, giving them training. And I'm not saying it is easy because dealing with government things, they want to say what you can't do. But a lot of my guys, we're doing the CDL program because they can get their own business into exporting and importing and trying to get them. Hopefully they'll be able to export and import to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because I do believe that right now, Africa is the now. I need some security people. I need we need our own police department. I'm serious, and you can get into security to really actually understand how how policing happens. It's some things that we can put in place. Like I need doulas, more doulas. I've been talking, and doulas, midwives are the hardest because it's mostly a white industry right now, where Black women used to do it. And the Black folk that's in it just don't have time, and the white folk just definitely not going to teach us how to do it because they know, white folk know what we're trying to do. I had a construction company that I was trying to link up with, and I've called several, and one is a Black construction company and can't get him to link up, to open up, to teach and train Black men how to do construction work. So it's not easy, but we're going to keep on working it. We're going to work with who wants to work with us. And we're going to make this thing happen. I want you guys to be thinking about what's your next foundation. What are you going to do next that we need in the Black community that we can actually get started on today? It don't take but 5 minutes to make a GoFundMe for a community store in your area. It don't take but a few minutes to make a GoFundMe for what you got, a clinic, something that's really super small. You can start small and you can make the doctors pay per week. You get a doctor there, you get a lawyer there, you get you can have a doula, a midwife there, person there. You can get, it's things that we can put in place right now to actually, that won't cost a whole lot to do. If other people helping you to build it, you just have to be like-minded and have a business mind and work with people that are already doing it. We can do this. It don't take, it's not going to be hard, you guys. It's not hard at all. It's a matter of you filling out paperwork. It's a matter of you getting certified or hooking up with the state, you know, your area, and doing the paperwork, and you're good. I'm just saying, it's so easy, but we have to stop being scared to step out to do anything. We've been working on these jobs. We've gotten comfortable working for white folk. We've gotten comfortable, but now it's time for us to step out and support our own foundations and our own businesses and our own clinics and stuff it's time for us to start supporting that. You know, these lives should be full, but Black folk aren't ready for truth. They don't want to do the work. They are so busy wanting to believe a lie. And I heard on, who was that, Bakari show? You had somebody that was on there that was literally agreeing with somebody and didn't even understand what the show was about. And I don't understand that. Who does that? You're a grown whole man, but you don't understand. You didn't read the story to find out. You just start agreeing with somebody. Who does that? What are we doing here? We have to start understanding what's going on and stop taking white folk and other folk word for stuff. Research. I researched that the Colorado man and his wife. I've researched them. Those people have been harassed for a minute now, and it's just coming out. But they've been going through hell out there in Colorado. I'm gonna tell you what. I be to sold that land, honey. Y'all can hear this. I be to sold that land. I'm serious. Look. I'm going to Mount Bayou or somewhere. I'm coming from around y'all crackers. Y'all can hear this. Because I'm serious. I would sold, honey, I'd have sold that land long. I wouldn't have bought it in the first place. Let's get that straight. But I do believe in us sticking together. But ain't no Black folk right now. We don't know how to stick together. We don't have a code of behavior. We don't have a clue on how to think for ourselves. If white folk don't think for you and put some stuff in place for you, you act like you done lost. You act like that you forgot that you didn't taught them how to bathe. Hello. You taught them how to build. Hello. You taught them everything they know, but we didn't, it's some stuff that they know that they didn't learn from us, but you learning that from them. Everything negative you got from them that you see in the Black community now. We didn't used to kill each other and act a fool with each other the way they do. That's their attributes. We didn't kill, steal, and destroy. Those are their attributes. But now when you commingle with people, you begin to take on their characteristics, and that's what you see in Black community. We've taken on enemies, cultures, and characteristics, and that's why we act the way we act. But you guys, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your just being here. You didn't have time. You didn't have to be here, but I appreciate that you did. Thank you so much. We probably do this next Sunday. I try to be on time, but anyway, 1 o'clock is usually my time of coming every Sunday. But with that said, you guys, thank you so much. And we're going to end on that note if nobody else has anything to say. And I appreciate you guys so much. You guys good? Y'all don't have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, peace. Thank you, Cassandra.
Thank you. Highly favored. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I want to talk more about those plots. I don't know if you got email or whatever, but
I do. I will give you it. My email, I'm going to put it as heart. I'm going to do Ram in the Bush. I'm going to put it in the
chat. Okay.
I'm gonna put it in there so you can BUSH at gmail.com. And I'll stay on here for a minute. It's Ram in the Bush, REALM in the bush.com. That's my email, and you can contact me anytime. I think I did it. REALM in the bush at gmail.com. And I am buying another plot. This is like the third. Okay, I went through Black Seed, which I had no problem. Some people was, people that don't do or have not, they hear other folk talking. I watch people for myself, and when they was doing all that talking, I'd already bought 2 plots, and they were doing all this talking. And you have to understand, Black folk get to the place where we are attacked. We have been trained and taught to attack people that's trying to help you to be free. We will attack them and call them agents, and we go against, but then somebody that ain't doing nothing for you, we love them to death. And I just, that mentality I don't get. And this is my 3rd plot, and I'm making payments. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't ever come out with, I make payments, and I'll be done paying for a few months, maybe a couple months. But I'm just saying, I'm not, and that's going to be my place of dwelling when I retire. So I have time. So I didn't go out and spend a whole lot of money, but I am going to start saving the money to have my house built on this plot here. I gave the other 2 plots to my granddaughter and my daughter. So, and I got to get 1 more. But yeah, I'm buying as much land as I can. because I do believe in building, and I do believe that the Africa is the now, and that it's where that's our home. And I'll retire in 3-4 years, maybe sooner. I'm just saying, but that'll be a place where I'm going to build. But yeah, you have my email anytime, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about the plots and where I got them, and give you the information, and you can decide for yourself what you want to do. But it's time to do something. Seriously, it's time. But thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on. Thank you so much. And everybody else, thank you for joining. Like and share before you go. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. And I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys next Sunday at 1:00. Peace, family.